clip up this match. She all in her feelings, she giving me sex. I got a slack, sweat on my ass. Count up on a move, that's a digital dash. They been just losing, I'm living these facts. Never go broke if I got me a stash. I could never ever live in the past. I gotta wake up and go get the bag. I gotta go ahead and clip up this match. She all in her feelings, she giving me sex. I got a slack, sweat on my ass. I gotta wake up and go get the bag. I gotta go ahead and clip up this match. She all in her feelings, she giving me sex. I got a slack, sweat on my ass. Count up on a move, that's a digital dash. They been just losing, I'm living these facts. Never go broke if I got me a stash. I could never ever live in the past. I gotta wake up and go get the bag. I gotta go ahead and clip up this match. She all in her feelings, she giving me sex. I got a slack, sweat on my ass.
Break it up, Pedro.
He'll impact this game.
Second down and 8. There's Alex Collins. Nothing doing. That'll go for a loss. Landon Collins. That's Collins on
More yardage on crossing routes over the last 2 years than Tyler Lockett. If he's in that tight split, you have to reroute him at the line of scrimmage.
from midfield. Russell dumping off for Collins. Ball comes out. And it's loose. Swain had a chance for Seattle and couldn't corral it. And Washington has it. Cole Holcomb able to get the football right back for Washington. Seattle rushing 4. McKissick. 5. Touchdown. Washington. J.D. McKissick.
Last week and gave him the nickname Scarface.
Yeah, Cam loves giving out nicknames. Here's Mcclone. Scary Terry speaking of nicknames. Second and goal. Kissick has a touchdown, has 2 touchdowns now into the end zone. J.D. McKissick for Washington. Russ under trouble, can't get out of there. Gonna be dropped. Cam Curl. Gibson, first down. Who told Lisa his range is probably 30, 35-yard field goal. So on 4th and 4, Washington goes for it with Heineke. And it's a grab for DeAndre Carter. Carter went up and brought it down for 15. First and goal, Washington. No timeouts remaining for Seattle. Russ in trouble, and he'll be taken down. Taken down at the 30. Shaka Tony and Jonathan Allen there. All sorts of time. Throws, and it is intercepted. Intercepted. Kendall Fuller will seal the game for Washington.
Everything we need is in this room. Everybody in this room we need. We've got one devastating the team that we can be. We will not take it from anybody. I don't give a how they stack against us. We're whipping. Now let's play football. Here we go. Team on 3. 1, 2, 3.
That's right. Victory Tuesday after that huge victory over the Seattle Seahawks to put the Washington football team in 5-6 with another crucial matchup this week versus the Las Vegas Raiders starting at 4:05 this afternoon. This is a big game for this team because it could take them to 500 and set them up set them in good position to make some noise at the end of the season with 5 division games at the end of the season. The Dallas Cowboys are sitting at the top of the division. You know, they had a victory on Thursday night against the Saints, forced 4 interceptions by the quarterback Taysom Hill. So they're, in first place, but the Washington football team, if they continue this winning streak and defeat the Raiders today, that'll put them at 6-6 with a huge matchup with the Cowboys next week that we'll be covering as always. But don't want to get too far ahead of myself. Welcome to Sports on the Hill podcast, pregame for the Washington football team. Actually streaming some of the pregame live on my laptop right now. I was just checking out. I got Terry McClone warming up out there in Vegas. Appreciate you guys tuning in. I know you could be watching the pregame show anywhere else, but I'm only going to be about 10-15 minutes, give you the Sports OTHP pregame version, you know, straight to the point, no cut, no chase, give you my keys to victory, and then I'm going to jump out of here and get ready to enjoy this game at 4 o'clock. But make sure you check out At the Bar Radio at 6 o'clock if you're not watching the game, that is. We'll be starting at 6 o'clock live, bringing you the best sports, politics, current events, independent music, entertainment news, all of that. We'll be streaming live at 6, and I'll be breaking down the game after it's over during that broadcast, because I'll have the game streaming live during the show. But let's go ahead and get to the nitty-gritty of why we're here right now. As I said, a huge matchup against the Raiders. Raiders are 6-5. Washington's 5-6. Numbers for the quarterbacks: Taylor Heineke for the season, 244 completions, 306 out of 363, 2,600 yards, 2,613 yards, 16 touchdowns, 10 interceptions with a 91.3 quarterback rating. Derek Carr is a 278 out of 413 for 3,414 yards. He has 17 touchdowns with 9 interceptions with a 97.9 quarterback rating. Antonio Gibson has 183 carries for 712 yards with a 3.89 yard average and 5 touchdowns and 3 fumbles. Jacobs for the Raiders has 111 carries for 420 yards with a 3.7 yard average and 6 touchdowns. On Antonio Gibson, he actually has the most carries over any NFL running back over the last 3 weeks with that 29 carry performance, a career high last week, which helped propel the Washington football team to the victory. Terry McClone has 58 receptions for 786 yards with a 13.55 average per reception with 5 touchdowns, and he only has 3 drops on the season. Hunter Renfrow for the Raiders has 64 catches for 650 yards with a 10.2 yard average reception with 4 touchdowns, and he only has 2 drops on the season. Offensively, these teams are kind of close in the numbers, but also I just got the inactive list. Let me go over that before I go over the team stats. Inactive today, you already know we posted, I believe Friday, that J.D. McClellan, Landon Collins, and Wes Schweitzer were going to be out for this game. They're inactive along with Dax Milne, Antonio Gandy Golden, Landon Collins, Corn Elder, and Ricky Seals Jones are all inactive today. So with J.D. McClellan out, you know that we're going to should see Jared Patterson, in the game, getting some go. They're definitely going to miss McClellan, his pass catching and the way he's been running the ball. Landon Collins has been playing outstanding since they moved him down to the box. Going to see who's going to be able to step up and help in that linebacker role, because he's been playing well since he's moved down into the box more and is rarely playing safety or rarely in a position to cover or rarely in a position to get burnt covering. And Wes Schweitzer, we're on our 4th center. So I'm thinking Ishmael is going to maybe get the start. I haven't seen the starting lineup yet. I'm waiting for it to come up now. But, the offense has definitely been growing, progressing, and improving, especially along with the quarterback, Heineke. The last 3 games, he's been outstanding. He's been reading the defense. He's been making the smart play. He's had a couple of bad throws. One of them ended up in the interception last week, a couple of weeks ago. One of them, deflected, and luckily, it didn't end up being a turnover. But, you're going to get a couple of those. But he, made a mistake. He forced the ball in double coverage to Terry one time, and then to Logan. That's where the interception came from. But for the most part, he's been hitting his check downs. He's been being smart, running when needed. He's been eluding the rush. We've seen over and over again him ducking under potential tacklers that was, getting a run at him, trying to get the sack. He avoided it, bought time, either made a play or threw the ball away to, go to the next down without losing any yards and kill the momentum of the drive. Long, sustained drives. He's been, he knows the offense. He's been Him and Scott Turner are on the same page. They've been, you know, calling a great game plan and a great scheme, and it's been working. They've been, like I said last week, you know, had more rush attempts than pass attempts, which is always a good sign. So that means you're controlling the ball, you're controlling the time of possession, you're dictating the pace of the game, and you have a lead most likely. And, you know, we had the ball for 41 minutes last week, time of possession. Can't get beat by the opposing offense if they're not on the field. And that's what I believe they're going to employ that same thought process today, and control the line of scrimmage, run the ball, and, you know, take the shot when it's there. Play action game is going to be, you know, key. Also for the Raiders, I know that Darren Waller, he's out for the game. That's their star tight end. And Josh Jacobs, he was doubtful, but looked like he's going to go. He has I forgot what his injury. He's on my fantasy squad. I was reading his notes. I think it's chest contusion or something like that he sustained a couple of weeks ago. But he's going to make a go of it. Derek Carr is known to turn the ball over if you get pressure on him. And just contain the pocket. Keep him in there. Team stats. Offense. Washington's offense averages 364 yards a game, which is 18th in the league. Raiders are 399, which is 16th. Passing yards, 224 for Washington, which is 20th. Raiders is 296, which is 2nd. Rushing, 125, which is 9th for the Washington football team. 89, which is 27th for the Raiders. Points is 20th. 20 points for the Washington football team, which is 20th. Raiders average 23, which is 17th. Third down conversions, Washington's up to 39%, which is 17th. The Raiders are at 34%, which is 25th. Defensively, Washington gives up 369 yards a game, which is 15th. The Raiders give up 372, which is 19th. Passing, they give up 266, which is 30th. Raiders give up 234, which is 13th. They give up 92 yards rushing, Washington does, which is 3rd in the league. The Raiders give up 125, which is 25th in the league. That's, as I said, the running game is going to be key in this victory and time of possession. Points, Washington gives up 25, which is 25th in the league. The Raiders give up 26, which is 30th in the league. Third down conversions. Even though the Washington football team has been playing very well on third down conversions lately, they're still bottom of the league at 51.4%. That just tells you how bad they were earlier in the season. They were giving up around 58% for about half of the season. So you see the numbers coming down, but it's still worse in the league. And for the Raiders, theirs is 40%, which is 17th in the league. As I say, keys to victory today. Running game, as I already started talking about, you know, Gibson, feed him another 20, 25 times in a game. Get Patterson in there, get him, you know, maybe like 7 to 10 carries. Let the line of scrimmage, you know, work for them. We saw the injuries last week, but they were still dominant in the run game. We've preached over and over again about how linemen love the running game, and the running game is the lineman's friend, even if it's backup, because you're pushing off instead of taking a step back to go into pass protection. So running the ball is going to be key. That's going to open up the play action game. You had a zone read option with Taylor Heineke that they have to worry about. So you have Curtis Samuel now. Look like he's going to be able to go 2 weeks in a row, which is a good sign. Look like his groin is healed up, so that's going to take some of the pressure of McClone not being there, because he can line up in the backfield also, and take jet sweeps and screens and stuff like that, the stuff that McClone would do. So this offense is showing progress, is showing that, you know, they're gaining an identity with smash mouth, run the ball, and, you know, play action when it's there, and take the shot down the field, like Big Hurt talked about a couple of weeks ago on Sports on the Hill. Once you get on the 40-yard line on the opponent's 40, you know, that fade route for Heineke looked like it's one of his favorite throws, and we've seen him connect on it several times this season already. So this team is finding an identity, is finding plays that work in certain situations. They have a third down play to go to. You know, they have certain situational plays, that they've seen work, that will work, that they are starting to implement. We've seen in the past, we've seen plays that work, but then a certain coach would never call it again in the game or for a few weeks, even though we saw it work, the, you know, time that he used it in the game and never went back to it again. We're not seeing that now. We're seeing the plays that work. They're actually reinstituting them and putting them in the game plan for situational football, which is what we always talk about: strategy, game plan, and situational football, and football knowledge 101, period. Certain things to do and certain things not to do. So everybody's learning, everybody's progressing, everybody's look like on the same page. Balance. Like I said, they ran the ball more than they passed the ball last week. I can't remember the last time I can say that about this team. And it was a victory. So got to have balance, or at least, keep balance 50-50, or at least, I would love to have more rushing attempts than passing attempts. So that means you're controlling the ball, you got the lead, and your line of scrimmage is doing their job. And then leading into my next one, dominate the line of scrimmage like we saw last week on both sides of the ball, defensively and offensively. Running the ball offensively, defensively, they were, containing the pocket. They got, I believe, 2 sacks on Russ. And they, did a good job. He didn't really hurt them with their feet. They had that one drive at the end of the game, the 2-minute drive, and everybody's like, well, why would they switch cheese that drive? Why did they give up that late touchdown? Well, it was a 2-minute drive. It was up tempo, no huddle. Seattle has scripted plays. Like I spoke about, the first 15 plays of the game are scripted by most offensive coordinators. That's why you see a lot of success on first drives, and the team stalls out after that, because they they script those plays. Let's see. Last key to victory: defense. Create turnovers, cause turnovers, and get some sacks on Carr. And just like we saw last week, 5 consecutive 3-and-outs. Let's see, some 3-and-outs, make them punt the ball, field position game, and, everything will work out. I predict this should be a victory. It should be a 4-game winning streak going into that matchup next week against Dallas. Stay tuned for my post-game / end of the game during At the Bar Radio. We're starting at 6, going live. Who knows how long the show will last, but I know the game will end during the bar broadcast, so I'll have my quick synopsis on there, and you can always tune in tomorrow night on Sports on the Hill podcast starting at 9 o'clock. Start with the Capitals, have the Washington football team around 9:30, 9:40, and then we finish up with Wizards talk around 10:15, 10:20. Hopefully we don't go too long. We had our 250th episode last week. Appreciate everybody that tuned in, chimed in. And we're going to be moving forward and keep pushing and keep making things happen. Told you be on the lookout. I got some interviews, and I'm in the works of trying to, finalize to bring you, another stellar DC sports person that we cover or work with in the DC sports media market. So stay tuned. I appreciate you tuning in. I'm going to let you get back to whatever you was doing, getting ready for pregame, tailgating, or whatever. Make sure you go check out the website, sportsothp.com. All of our content, lives, shows, podcast partners, our new links to our social media and YouTube channels. You can click on the apparel line to cop some of the new gear we got for the Christmas season to make a great gift. And you can also help support the movement of DC Sports Without the Politics. It's not just a catchphrase. It's not just a motto. It's what we do. So make sure you check us out. Tell your folks about us. Go subscribe to my YouTube, Carol Porter III. That's with 3 eyes, not the number 3. And check out all the content that we got. I do highlight videos for the Caps, for the Washington football team, At the Bar radios, live streams, my Sports on the Hill podcast live streams, our pregame, our postgame. Just check us out, man. We trying to change DC sports media back to true journalism and not this clickbait anonymous source stuff that's going on. So CP3, live from At the Bar. We'll catch you next time. Sports OCHP, True Radio Network, DC Sports Without the Politics. It's not just a catchphrase. It's not just a motto. It's what we do. And I'm out.